Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend to you. And this is our morning cup of tea. I had some amazing dreams last night, and I woke up and I thought to myself, okay, you're doing another morning cup of tea today. This is actually not tea. I'm actually being a little bit naughty, and this is coffee, real Jamaican coffee. Real Jamaican coffee. I felt like starting this weekend off really strong, yeah? So before anyone comes on, because I know I'm probably on here live now, it's early. It's 9:36 in New York. Before I get into the topic, which is how you spend your energy, from a beautiful dream I had last night, but not just from the dream, it transpired from a session I had with this beautiful soul last night. Cynthia, I give you a shout out. I absolutely love you and what you brought in, and also what your guides left with me after our session last night gave me this mind blowing dream with the angel last night that also transpired to what I'm going to talk about today. So, Cynthia, wherever you are in your beautiful world, absolutely love you. Okay. So, I woke up maybe about 1 hour ago, and then I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I have to share this dream and also this concept from the angels that was triggered from my session with Cynthia yesterday. She's a beautiful being on this planet who just has these amazing dreams with the angels. I mean, seriously, trumpets, chariots in the clouds. And when I was having this talk with her last night, I was like, we were set up because you're like an absolute mirror of me. And it was so exciting. And I was so excited about her session and what came through and what the energy that was there, that last night I had dream after dream after dream, but there was this one dream with the angels, and it was a message for you today. So we're going to talk about that. But before we go on that, I'm going to read you chapter 6 from my book. And I'm going to do this because let's set the pace just for something that's beyond religion, beyond culture, beyond time. It's just simple human beings of light having conversations. That's what we're doing. We're not bombarding anyone. We're just talking about how to self love, self heal, and know how to spend your energy. Okay. So, anyway, let's start with chapter 6. And then when I'm done, I'm just going to do about 2 pages. We'll go into the discussion. Yeah. So, chapter 6 says, what I was shown. There are no clocks in eternity, no waiting rooms, no rules, only truth and love and light that speaks without words. What I was shown wasn't the movie of my life. It was not about judgment or punishment. It was more like remembering what had always been true, but I had somehow forgotten. They showed me my life not as a list of successes and failures, but as a web of love. Every moment I chose love, no matter how small, was etched in eternity. They showed me the child I hugged when no one else would. They showed me the stranger I smiled at when I was having a bad day. They showed me the time I listened to someone without interrupting, even though I had nothing to gain. I've had a lot of that. And they showed me the people I forgave, not because they deserved it, but because I was ready to be free. These moments lit up like stars. There were no spotlights on the money I made, the mistakes I regretted, or the times I thought I failed. There were no accusations. There was only love. And the reminder that I had been the face of God to others more times than I knew. I was shown that even the pain had purpose, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the losses, not caused by God, but held by Him. Each one had been an invitation to grow, to soften, to wake up. And even when I said no, even when I couldn't see the lesson, love waited patiently. Love never rushed me. God never condemned me. Instead, I saw how often I had judged myself through the eyes of fear and how little of it was real. And then I was shown them, the ones I thought I had failed, the ones I had helped without knowing, the ones that crossed my path for a brief moment and were changed, not because of anything I said, but because of who I chose to be. We are all connected by invisible threads, and love, only love, makes those threads eternal. Returning to this world after what I experienced being normal was no longer a possibility. In fact, even the idea of normal felt foreign to me. Words rooted in fear began to bother me. Negative conversations triggered me like an alarm, and I found myself exiting them like a fleeing mouse. And I did. I no longer simply heard what people said, I felt them. I could sense whether their words matched their energy. I can't wait for you to be able to do that. That's cool. And most of the time, they didn't. People I loved weren't speaking their truths. And I used to pick up on this a lot. And I would say, "What you're saying to me, that's not how you feel." And it would annoy the daylights out of my family members. I can't wait for you to know how to do that too. They were using polite words to protect my feelings, but in doing so, they were withholding love from themselves. I heard them downplay their brilliance, praise others while secretly shrinking their own, or speak light into others while speaking darkness over their own names. And I felt all of it. The first people to notice this shift were my family, and truthfully, they didn't handle the new me very well. And I didn't like feeling judged, but I was. Not out loud, but always with words. But in the quiet tension of being too different now for them to reach, unconsciously I was challenging everything they believe. In this experience was God, teaching me compassion and grace in the faces of the people who cared for me, who I cared for most. I met God again. And for many, it was too late or too heavy to unlearn what had always felt safe. So I stayed quiet as I could. But then the dream started. I'm not going to go too far into this. I want it actually to stop at quiet. You see the quietness in your lifetime. Let me close this door because my daughter just came in and opened it and I need it closed. Okay, so here we are. The quietness. A lot of us have this, oh my gosh, if I'm quiet, if I don't speak my truth, I'm better off, or if I'm quiet while this conversation is happening, it's triggering me so much and I have to answer back because how dare them? Most times, the loudest wisdom and grace and mercy and peace comes from your silence. Your silence never, actually, really, really never means that you're weak, that you're folding. And I don't mean being quiet when you've been, stood up on. I mean being quiet when you feel your energy being literally ripped outside of you. And that's kind of what I saw last night. So last night I had this session with this beautiful being. Cynthia, again, I love you. After the session and during my dream state, I had this dream of being surrounded by an angelic team. I only identified one of them in this dream, which is fine. Raphael is usually there with me. But it's as if they were having this. I don't know if it's a council, but I have this thought in my mind. Oh my gosh, it's a council, and they were observing the earth. I get this opportunity to witness this quite a lot. And I'm like in the background, just within this time and space in the cloud state, and I can see these angelic beings and they're observing Earth. So here's what came through from it, and I want to make sure that I get it right. They were just observing Earth, and I was just seeing flashes as if they're holograms of just scenes on Earth. And there was this human being, like in this park state, and there were people there just having fun. However, they honed in to this couple that were there, and they were at it in some kind of arguments. And while they were there arguing, across from them, they were having issues, it seems as if with fertility or whatever the case is. But you know how people trigger each other. And the angels were there observing. And then I had this moment, pause. And when the pause came through, there was this ball that came and hit the woman on her leg. Now, what she didn't see in that moment that they were observing, like human beings are so caught up in being wrong and being right that the ball hit her by this child, because now the child is supposed to come into the middle of this tense, energetic atmosphere and allow them to quench it. Like, okay, snap out of that. Observe this child, this beautiful grace and abundance of God. Yeah, that's right here. It's not yours, but you can experience the love that emits from them and start afresh, anew, with new insight. And what the angels were trying to show this couple is, let's consider adoption. Let's consider a family member. Let's consider so many other options instead of arguing with each other about something that you can't control. So that for me was brilliant. And they were looking at other scenes, and I was there observing. I said, oh my gosh, I did that before. Here's a message for today. Your weekend, no matter where you are in the world, is not to get busy. You see, throughout your week, you pick up what I call rocks and shadows. Rocks of everything that you thought was going to go wrong, rocks of every decision you made or every disappointment you picked up as the week came, that were actually supposed to be redirections for you anyway. And you get into, when it comes to Thursday, you start to, I can't wait for Friday. I can't wait for Friday. And when it comes to Friday, it's TGIF Friday, but you still have the shadows and the rocks. See, every person in your job or you have met during that week who's totally annoyed you, and your family or within your household. Some of you also don't want to be home. He's like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for Monday because I don't want to be here because it's so treacherous, it's so dark, it's so dysfunctional. And you go into your weekends with this energy built up within you, and the angels want you to understand your weekends are for silence. Find the silence wherever the silence is and simply pause, because there's no human being on this planet that's simply pressed on going 1,000 miles a second, going 1,000 miles per second without a pause. You will go on a burnout, literally. Do you understand? So the question was, as you pick up these rocks, I'm looking on my phone because when I woke up from the dream, I started to type profusely because I didn't want to miss anything of the message, right? So it says we pick up many rocks and shadows of others, and our minds have been trying to analyze. See, what happens when you get to Friday? Although now it's Saturday, no matter everything you plan to do, I'm going to the supermarket, gonna do this, do my hair, do my nails, go to the barber shop, whatever you're planning. But also your mind is trying to psychoanalyze everything that happened during the week. How dare him? I remember exactly what that person said. And you know what you do while you're doing that? You're spending your energy on something that really has nothing to do with your peace. It cannot affect you in any way, shape, or form unless you allow it to happen. Do you understand? So they wanted me to remind somebody today. I know, I absolutely can imagine if you've gone through pain this week and disappointments and simply having things happen within your life that you did not plan. Instead, the angels want you to pause for a moment this weekend and allow your being, meaning the cells within your body, your mind, and your heart, to adjust, to simply quantify that which happened and understand, all the things that did not happen last week. I'm not taking it to the sacred space that I am now this Saturday morning. I am allowing all those to falter by, these shadows that I took up from every story that I heard, the news that I watched that completely perturbed me, that person that I witnessed who went through that trauma or whatever it is, or the trauma that also happened to me. If I'm here now, it means that I overcame it. And I do not wish to spend any of my wealth, my abundance of energy on this. The way I've been taught, you are energy. And to see the money that we wake up every day, we have to work this money because I need to work this money to pay these bills, that bill, that bill. You firstly are the money. You own the money. You emit the energy of abundance from you. So if you choose on any given day to have the reaction of somebody else who chooses to withhold love from themselves and dragging you into their trap, and because of that choice that they made to withhold love from themselves, allow you to spend your energy by reacting to what they planned for you, to keep feeding them the energy of your money, your ethereal money. What's going to happen when your bank account goes dry? What's going to happen when all you do, somebody, let's say they tried to run you off the road or they did something crazy in traffic, and for the rest of the day, immediately you're on the phone and you're going to call your sister, your mom, your friend, oh my God, I can't believe, do you know what this idiot just did? And you start to spend your energy. It simply starts to slowly deplete your day. And all the things that the angels want to have you focus on for that day, the sign that says, you've got this. You missed it. The park that was there ready for you, you completely missed it because you're so frustrated because immediately because of the choice of one, yes, you can say idiot if you feel like it because they choose to do it. You just simply need to observe it. Yes, stupid. The stupidity of this guy. And breathe. Do not take it on because what you immediately do is take on the shadow that this individual was carrying on. My 7 year old said this to me some time ago. She goes to school in Jamaica now. Culture is a little bit different. She's not quite used to, how the kids would talk and how they would say, you're fatty because she's on the chubby side. She absolutely is livid for it. So one day she said to me, she said, I want to write a book about bullies because I allow her to author books. So she does her own books. Yeah. And I said, why do you want to write a book about bullies? Why are you giving them your strength? You know what I mean? And she said to me, I'm not giving them my strength. That bully has nobody to love him. And I want to write a book to make sure that every other child who goes through a bully knows that they need love. And all they need to do is just hug them and bite them on their jaw. I was like, how do you mean bite them? Of course, bite him on his jaw until he feels love. I was like, you can't do that, Tiffy. And she said to me, well, he has garbage and he's trying to throw it on me. And I don't want anybody throwing their garbage on me. 7 years old. But I thought about that concept, and she's kind of right. Every time you experience somebody, even if it is a loved one, many of us, this experience that we have of people taxing us for our energy, it comes from somebody who's right in your household, somebody who you truly love. But you must understand, most times we are in the circle of other individuals who really just find themselves in this phase where they think they're comfortable because they're seeking to have somebody to control while you need your freedom. It will be a toss and twirl for your entire lifetime. However, when you start to choose to become an observer of this individual's path and choices of withholding love from themselves, what you start to do without reacting to every word and everything they say, you start to save your energy, which means you're adding to your bank account, your energetic bank account. Do not allow anyone, no matter how close they are, family member, a husband, a child, to drain your bank account, to drain the money, the energy, the wealth that you already are. Because when they completely deplete you, come out word, when they completely deplete you, what happens is you are left high and dry. And that's when you feel, oh my gosh, I don't know what my purpose is because what you did is allowed somebody else to take your freedom of peace. Do you understand? That's very important for you to know. Now, what I saw in my second dream was kind of cute. And I want to share the analogy with you. I wrote so many things here, but I can't read it while I'm talking to you. I was within this state and I was made to observe this tree. Let me try to remember this dream for you. It was as if I was only focusing on one tree. My guide said to me, look. When they say look, something always appears. So it's as if this tree was within this storm, like it was in the center of a storm. And it said, look. So a storm was happening, and there was this huge tree, and it was beating it back and forth. The storm was beating the tree back and forth, because that's what storms do. And the angel wanted me to express this storm is every single thing that happens in life, and it will happen every day. Every day you wake up, it is another storm. Some are gentle, some are ferocious. However, it is a storm. It said, observe the tree. Does it try to fight against the storm? And I said, no. So as the storm and the wind started to go, no matter what happened, the tree just paused and allowed. So the branches just simply allowed the wind to take it wherever it's taking it because there was something happening that the storm did not know about. And simply when everything just seemed to get silent, now I understood. The tree was now in the eye of the storm, and when you get to this silent state, which happens in every situation, an argument at work, an argument at home, there is a moment when everything stops. Like you've argued so much, now you're quiet. And the angel says, allow this moment to be your pause where you do what? Breathe. It's like reconnecting yourself with your ethereal being, with your heart. And within this breath, simply ask yourself, is this serving me right now to continue to expel my energy, to give my energy to this argument, to this situation? And within this pause, you call this the eye of your storm. The illness, the financial issues, immigration. I don't know what it is you're going through, but you get a moment of pause. And when you do that, this is when you pause, trust, and allow. And what happens within this period? The tree just simply anchors itself by its roots. The storm can't see it. The person you're arguing with can't see that you're anchoring your roots when you become silent. This is why the guidance is your silence is your secret sauce. The silence is not saying that you're weak. The silence is when you choose, oh, absolutely not. I'm not going to allow you to make me choose fear for myself today. I'm not going to allow you to make me settle. I'm not going to allow you to keep my voice in. I will articulate and speak my truth. I'm not going to allow you to believe that I deserve to be in this company that's absolutely draining my energy. I am now going to change my focus while I observe the atrocities and all the things that you do to deplete yourselves. I will simply come here for this period of time, which now is temporary, because I have now chosen to tap into my creative gifts. So while I am here, I'm simply here exchanging my service for abundance, because you're going to start stacking up your abundance now, adding it to the energy that you have, preparing yourself for the shift that you're going to. Stop allowing things to deplete you, situations, people, environment, society, ancestry, and history. So within the eye of the storm, this is what the tree did. And then the storm started again. And now, remember when the storm starts again, it's really serious now because come on, I've been shifting and shaking and you haven't done anything. I haven't broken enough branches off this person. I haven't allowed them to fold. I haven't allowed them to give up. So I'm very ferocious. But what does the tree do again? Pause and allow. And when the storm finally passes, finally takes another breath, which is the direction that you need to take. And your overcoming and your regrowth begins. Why? You were anchored by choice not to allow this person, this situation to expel your bank account, to completely tax you on something that you didn't use that was not for your good. So I ask you a question. While you go shopping today, where I don't care what kind of shopping you do, if it's for clothes or food or whatever, just for pleasure, will you go into your purses or your wallets and take money out of your wallets and just give it for something that you completely detest? Let's say you're a vegetarian. Are you going to go to the market today and buy beef and steak and say, yes, I'm spending all my money? How much is that? $100 a pound? Give me 10 pounds of that. Will you willingly do that? Just go out there and just purchase something that does not benefit you whatsoever. It doesn't give you peace in your heart. It certainly detests you because you don't like it. Will you do that? Will you go to somebody to do your hair who's never done your type of hair? Will you go out there to say, you know what, shave my head off? When your peace comes from having your beautiful curly hair, straight hair, whatever it is, will you choose to spend the energy, the money? I said energy. Maybe we should call money energy. Anyway, for you to spend money, which is your energy, on something that really doesn't suit you, doesn't give you pleasure, doesn't make you feel good, even if it's ice cream and you have a tummy ache, but you enjoyed it while it was happening, right? Well, The angels want you to look on life as that. Look on not just the tangibility of money. I don't even have money around me now, but the physical money. If you cherish money so much, why don't you cherish your energy, which is your owned, your birthright? That's your money. I don't know. I'm looking at myself and my nightgown is lean as heck and it's driving me nuts. Which side is it? Okay, it's here. Will you allow that to happen? Because I sure used to. That's before I knew. That's before I understood. Oh my gosh, my energy is my birthright. So every time I'm in this argument with this person and they said something, and in Jamaica we would say, "It burn me, I see, and I light him back." It's like trying to fight fire with fire doesn't usually work. This is why so many other incarnations of Earths, from my memory and my perspective and what the angels have taught me, has completely obliterated their planets and their Earths because they just thought to themselves, you know what, there's a darkness on this side, which your darkness is whatever you're experiencing now that is depleting you. And I'm going to fight it with more darkness. And that's not how it works. You fight darkness with light, and you fight hate with love, and you fight fear with knowingness, with confidence to say, no, I'm not fearful of that. I know my energy. I know the love that I represent. I know my worth. I know all these things. Why? Because I feel it. And I am banking in my bank account to make sure that this energy for this weekend, I am starting to pause. I'm not taking any more shadows that don't belong to me. That's your choice of depleting yourself from your energy. But I'm doing this for myself. Do you understand? So I think that was extremely important. And then just before I woke up this morning, there was just this other weird dream. So everything today is simply about your energy. Now, my sister's church, they have this thing called penny offerings. I don't know if anyone else goes to church and know about it, but you should. So penny offerings, they put this big plastic bottle and they tell you that whatever pennies you have at home that you're not using, take it to the church. They fill it up, they take it to the bank, and the proceeds from those pennies, when they change them out, it goes to a cause. Not any big cause, but probably for this church, they use the pennies to buy Metro cards. For this other sister church that they have, for people who were incarcerated who are now, integrating back into the world. So they do this, and I absolutely love it. But the last dream I had, it was with my grandmother, and she just had this big thing of pennies. And then I was observing the pennies and wondered, what the daylights are they? So my grandmother said, well, you know what? If you have pennies that you don't need, why do you keep them? So consider pennies, very little subtle things that you pick up during your week, very subtle things that really, really has nothing to do with you, like somebody else's business, somebody who's gossiping about another person that really has nothing to do with you. This little penny thoughts that comes in your mind, just like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. I really want to transition. I want to transition from this workplace. I need to start my own business because I'm so good at cooking, at this, at that. However, you choose not to just simply go on your phone to see, are there any spaces in my town that's available? Just to book, to go and see this place, find out what the cost is. That's what you call the sacred action. But instead, you've been saving these pennies that really doesn't serve you. Do you understand? Or simply having this, you've been on your first date, and your first date, your heart didn't feel so good. And you say, yeah, but I'm lonely. I'm going to try again. And you pick on these pennies that you don't need anymore. And you do the second date and you start to pick up on these little things that energy is not so right. This guy, you know what? There's this thing that he may seem to have the archetype of my ex where he might be demanding, but he's so cute and he's saying all the other things. These are the pennies that you're picking up that you don't need. And when you go home, you see you getting all the nudges, and maybe your mother will say, show me the picture, or your granny or something. No, I don't like this guy. And you say, what can you not like this guy? You have been getting the nudges so much. However, you choose to keep these pennies that don't work for you. Do you see how many of my dreams last night just came? Just for you to explain to you how to be a good financial advisor for yourself, financial advisor of your energy, of banking on your ethereal money. Do you understand? And this is very important for you to learn to do. So as you go through this Saturday, I don't know where you're going. Every dollar you spend today out of your wallet or your pocketbooks, think of your money that is here, that's connected to your heart. You know what they showed me? I have to talk about this another time. There is a connection. I have to find out if there's anyone on here who knows about biology. I don't. The angel showed me that there's this connection from your brain to your gut. And because of this connection from your brain to your gut, you know, when we say I have a gut feeling, they say trust it because it's actually a human apparatus that is your guidance system. See, my guides in the beginning showed me and taught me how to trust my ethereal body, my energy self, to allow me to simply feel, not listen to what people say, just feel into what they're saying, feel into what they represent and their intentions. And it's worked for me for all these years. So I can feel into something you're saying and know if it's right for me or not, know if this conversation you're having is depleting me or not, know if you're an energy vampire, because I've had quite a few in my life. And when these individuals are done talking their stories, I started to realize, oh my gosh, I'm done for the rest of the day. And what I did, I chose, instead of saying, listen, no, I don't have time for this conversation now, with love and with compassion, because I knew that when they would hang up from me, I would be completely depleted. And they would say, Nikki, I love talking to you because when I talk to you, my problem's done. My guide showed me that it really does happen because you're so empathic, you don't understand how to put your borders up. You're learning some things today. Some of you know it already. You don't learn how to put your borders up. So, yes, they are attracted to you because you do take their energy and they take away your money. So, it's like you open the door to your bank and you say, come in and take any amount of money you want. And listen, you have some people that take you everything you've got and leave you only with pennies that barely is enough to suffice you, barely is enough to take you through your day. And all you're thinking about is their problems, their issues, because you actually energetically took it from them. Those are energy vampires. And they come in all shapes and forms, strangers you've never met, people at work, your family members. And as you start to observe this, as the angels observe us and our choices, simply remember this: do I want to spend my money, my energy money, on this conversation? Or is she going to rob me of the money I've got for myself to take me on this lifetime? Is this conversation, this job, is this choice, is this trip, is this circle of friends really going to keep helping me, guiding me, uplifting me, you know, directing me into this space where I'm going? Are we like-minded individuals, or is this people just people who wants to have somebody to rule and control? Because I really just want my freedom. You know what? It's not the right circle for me. And slowly but surely you start to make choices that fills you up, that gives you peace and fill your bank account. Do you understand? That was my message for this morning. And you know what? Is my every time I have my cup of tea, which is coffee, good thing is coffee is also good cold, because then I would have to heat it again. Now that I've given you that message from that dream I had last night, if you have any questions, I'll take it. If not, I will just simply tell you, enjoy your weekend. And while you are shopping this weekend, please think about the choices that you are making this weekend and for the next new week and for the rest of your life. How are you spending your energy? How are you choosing to spend your energy? What are the things that you're doing? Is it adding to your bank account? Or are you choosing to allow somebody else who already made the choice for themselves to be a meanie or to be malicious or just to be a news carrier to drag you into their realms? And while they're doing that, they're absolutely unpacking all your energy source. Yeah. And if you are working into an environment right now, or if you're going into an environment that feels kind of volatile, and for now, you can't, don't like to use the word can't, but for now, you are there for some reason or the other. Most times we are in a space because there's a lesson we need, excuse me, there's a lesson you need to learn from that space, or sometimes you're holding space for someone else. Most times you're in a space now, although it feels a little bit volatile, and you're wondering, why am I not moving it, although I'm making all the plans? Is because there's somebody else there who's observing you, and from your choices of just grounding yourself within it with grace, you are also building and carrying that person also with you. Do you understand? So there's no scene still that is wasted, although you may feel, oh, I'm stuck. I hear so much of I'm stuck. You're not stuck. I want you, first of all, to check within yourself and the choices you make, the conversations you have, the people that you're around, and to check first how you're spending your energy. Because sometimes the way and the reason why you feel depleted is because you choose to follow suit someone else's choices to withhold love and care for themselves. And you just fall into that trap of saying, you know what, it's my friend, it's my family, it's my husband, it's my sister, it's my brother. So you know what, I'll just go follow suit. And you don't understand you're depleting yourself and you don't need to. Yeah, that's one. And two, it simply is a situation where you will find that the carpet will be dragged from under your booty, right from under your feet, because when you have a path to go, and when you are just simply supposed to be within a scene or within a lifetime, within a workplace, within a space, sometimes you are being, let's say, guided with lessons to pick up skills right there, because where you are now going to be transformed to, you need to pick up these skills. You need to have these connections, let's say, because these are the tools that you are going to need to move on. While you are there, stop thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm depleted, I am stuck. No, you're not. You are there picking up on the things that you need. Okay, I need to have grace. I'm learning patience with them. That one, I definitely need compassion, because if I don't have compassion, I'll squeeze the life out of him. And remember to breathe when you get to that point and say, yeah, I know. I'm learning a lesson here. And as soon as it's time for me to move, just allow me to do it gracefully and with peace. And you'll find that when you get to your mastery, some of you are setting up yourselves. All of a sudden, you start to have these feelings in your heart that makes you light up. Oh my gosh, I think I would love to do this now. I feel as if, but I don't know how to do it. Don't worry. The minute you start to think about it, your guides have already started to plan it. But there's something where you are that you need to pick up. Some of you just simply need to save some money, physical money that will sustain you for a few months. I had a beautiful being, and that's her path. She wants to leave where she is, and I see her leaving there, but she's supposed to be where she is to just garner some funds just for a few months so she can easily transition into the creative skill that almost feels like child's play. Everything that's happening to you is happening for a reason. You just simply need to pause, like this beautiful big oak tree. And as a storm swirls around you, it's not going to happen forever. And allow it to break the branches it wants to, because once you remain rooted, you'll regrow. You will transform. You will overcome. You always do. And when that happens for you, and you become silent within the eye of the storm, the eye of your conversation, this argument that this idiot keeps doing, keeps saying these things that triggers me, don't allow him to spend your money. Then allow him to spend your energy money. As often as you can, become one with your breath. This is where your truth and your power lies. And you have to remember to do it. I'm trying to see if there's anything I forgot to talk about. Um, Clutter. The clutter. You go through these stages when you are about to go into a transformation. Sometimes there's an urgency to declutter. It happened to me years ago, where I couldn't stand the things that were around me and I just wanted to throw things out, and everybody thought I was crazy. However, it's a first sign in your life that you're going through a transformation. It's like your guides want you to mirror your physical life with your spiritual life. So there are things sometimes you will find when you start to declutter or throw things out or change your diet just abruptly. They want to show you a mirror of the transformation you're making also internally. Do you know, with the choices that you're going to make? Because now it's going to sustain you. And when you clear the clutter, sometimes things within the clutter are things that have attached trauma memories to them, memories that depletes you, memories that really makes you feel, oh, can't take this. It's you grieve every time you see these things, and we hold them as long as we can. But when it's time for you to transform, they must go physically. And simply it mirrors back, okay, now I've let go of that spiritually also. So that thought is not holding me back. I'm now ready to move. And I want you to understand you don't need to explain yourself in every single thought. You don't need to explain the change that you're going through to anyone. Because sometimes in the explaining or trying to get your point across, somebody's saying something, listen to me, you don't understand. And you don't need to do that. Because see, every time you do that, try to pause in a minute and feel how your cells start to deplete. You're spending your energy money. You don't need to explain your grace and your mercy. You don't need to explain what gives you peace. So today, I tell you, find a moment and simply pause with yourself and check in. What are the things that I did this week, this past week, that really spent too much money than I had to spend? And for this week, for this weekend, I want you to learn to reboot yourselves. You know what I mean? Do something that really lights you up, like me drinking a cup of coffee because I feel like it. And when I'm done with this, I'm going to take a long bath because I allow water, I love water, to simply reboot my batteries. And in that space, I get the most, I would say, a wealth of wisdom through that silence when I'm connected to water. So I'm not going to flowing waters today. I'm just doing it at home because it doesn't matter where you are. You create your own sacred space and reboot. And then after that, I just do the next thing that feels exciting me. If I want to take a walk in the park, or if I want to just take a trip somewhere, or if I want to have a conversation with somebody, whatever it is, or maybe I'll do a painting. But see, I'm not putting pressure on myself right now for that. I'm just doing the next thing that excites me. Do you understand? And from that, I will allow myself to go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and smile as much as you can as you go through this day. My household is going to get a little bit busy in a second because kids are going to play. They're having a play day and it's Saturday. So everybody wants to have their own fun. I am going to read some questions and I hope this helped somebody, because dreams don't come as mistakes either. They always come to help somebody to understand, in your layman terms, the things that you're probably being a little bit bothered about. Okay. All right. Yes, she's right. They must be experiencing some kind of painful discomfort, or and you are right. We must use challenging occurrences to assist us in spiritual growth. Yes, Laura and more. Beautiful. Leah, hi. Gritel, hi. Happy Saturday to you. Lori and more. Greetings to you too. Ella, Mary. CWM challenge. I love the word challenge because it opens the doorway to more. The word hard has a heavy frequency. So for everyone who uses the word hard a lot, take that word. Use the word challenge instead. Patricia, Jermaine, Andrea, beautiful. Welcome. Welcome. Ellie Gold, welcome. I am about to check out because I need to do some other things and I also have a few sessions today. So I want to wish you absolutely abundant weekend as you start to spend the physical money that you earn in this world. Also, don't say you earn money. You simply exchange your services for something that serves you. You're not earning money because when you do that, you kind of limit yourself only to money, also. Okay. As you spend your money today, everything, every dollar that you spend, think about every time you allow your energy money to be spent where you don't want it to be spent. Always think about that. I wish you absolute love and light. I've been here for 43 minutes. Beautiful. I finally did something on time because I wanted to be under 45 minutes this morning. So I don't want to take up your time. Be the love and light. And remember, you are the one who's responsible for the light that you emit from your soul. You are the one who's responsible for the choices that you make for yourself. Somebody else may take you within their stage because they chose to withhold love from themselves and they want to have somebody to control, but you do not have to choose to remain there. You can choose, no, this it does not feel good to my heart. These situations, these relationships, these friendships, these circles, this job. So I'm preparing myself to have easy, a very easy and peaceful exit from this space. And by doing that, you firstly start to check up on the money that you're spending, this energy money that you're spending with this individual in these situations, and simply allow your soul to begin to guide you to the places, the thoughts, the decisions that gives you peace and joy in your heart. Okay? And that is very important. Start there and you will simply grow. And remember, no matter how hard the storm comes, the sickness, the this, the drama, the trauma, the shame, whatever you want to say it is, these are simply branches on your tree that will break. Don't hold on to them, okay? When the storm comes, it comes for them to simply be shed away. Don't hold on to the pennies that you don't need to use in your life. Allow the shame and the pain and the trauma to go because that was simply an experience in your life that came to teach you something. Now you ground yourself. You straighten your back, like Mother Mary says, and ground your roots into your truth and say, you know what? I am holding on to my energy. I'm holding on to my peace. And while those go, it's fine. I'm going to pause and allow because in your silence is your wealth of abundance. Your tears and your silence is not a sign of weakness. This is where you reboot and choose for yourself. Absolutely not. I'm not giving you my energy today. I don't know what your issue is, but I will observe your choices. But for me today, I choose love for me. I choose peace for me. I choose joy for me. And breathe. Love and light to you. I am ending this stream. What good no man? And love yourself. Until next week. Bye from my morning cup of tea. Thank you all. Thank you all for checking in. And for everyone else who will check up on this, frequency remains the same. Just simply be truthful to yourself and love yourself first, will ya? Okay? Bye.